Alright, now we're going to do a assembly of our advanced hydraulic cylinder, and we're going to start by opening up a new assembly, and it'll bring you to this page here, and you can go to browse, and we're going to start placing some of these parts in there. The first one I'll place is the cylinder. I like to hit the green check to start out because that'll place the cylinder's origin on the origin of the assembly, and that's what I want. And now we can start inserting components. So we can go to browse, and we can place the first end cap in there, and we'll place our second end cap in there. We'll insert the piston, and we'll insert the shaft. And those are the parts we want in there, and we can start putting these together with mates. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that face on that first end cap. I'm going to rotate it around. I'm going to grab that face on the cylinder, and that will make them coincident, so make sure coincident gets checked, and you can green check mark that. And then we're going to grab a circle that's on that cylinder, and we'll grab one of these circles on the end cap, and that will make those concentric. That's what we want, and we'll green check mark it. And we need to rotate this one before we place it, so what we're going to do is under move component, you can hit the drop down arrow, and we'll do rotate component, and we're going to do by delta XYZ. And if you click on the second end cap, we want to rotate that around the X 180 degrees, or around whichever axis you need to rotate it around, and we'll accept that. And while we're rotating things, we'll go to move component, rotate. I also need to rotate the piston, so we don't want to do free drag, we want to do by delta XYZ. I'll click somewhere on the piston, and I'll rotate it around my X 180 degrees, and I'll accept that. And now we can go back into mates, and I'm going to grab that face on that second end cap, and I'm going to grab that face on the cylinder. It will make them coincident. We'll green check mark it, and then I can grab a circle on the cylinder and one of these circles on the end cap, and it's going to make them concentric. We'll accept that, and we'll turn this around. We'll grab that face on the piston, and we're going to make it concentric with this face. You can also grab this circle, and that will line them up. We'll accept it. Then we'll grab a circle on the piston and a circle on the shaft, make them concentric, green check mark. And we'll do the same thing. We'll make this piston concentric with the cylinder, so just a circle that's on the cylinder, concentric, green check mark. You can now drag that into the hydraulic cylinder, and we'll orientate one more thing. We're going to grab that face and that face, and we're gonna make those concentric, or coincident, I'm sorry. Make those coincident, and that'll rotate them so they're both going in the same direction. And now your part's put together, so you can exit out of mates. And that's all we really need to do with an assembly. That just lets you to do some nice things like with move component. You can find out if you have any, use collision detection, find out if any of your parts are too big or too small or in a colliding position. So if we turned on hidden lines displayed, you can grab somewhere on that shaft and piston and see that it does slide through the cylinder and it does stop on those end caps. It's nice to know that you got the dimensions right on your diameters on your piston and on your cylinder. Go back into shaded. You can also do section views. Just to give you an idea of how everything's working internally. So if you green check mark that, you can see what that looks like inside. And you can see the portholes for pushing the hydraulic fluid through. And there's some other nice things you can do with assemblies, but we can get into that later. So for now, just save this assembly as your advanced hydraulic cylinder assembly, and that's it for this part.